The search for Jay Slater, the British teenager who went missing while on holiday in Tenerife, is now in its 5th day. Helicopters, rescue dogs and drones have been used during the hunt for the 19-year-old. Jay was last heard from on Monday morning. One of his friends has hit out at Spanish police, claiming they are not doing enough. Well, I'm joined now by Daniel Hammond, who's a reporter at The Sun, live from Tenerife. Daniel, welcome to the show. So we've been in Jay Slater's hometown earlier on today. The mood on the ground there is very, very sombre. Lots of criticism about the police operation in Tenerife. What can you tell us about the latest in the search for Jay Slater?
Hello, Martin. So we've seen drones, helicopters and search teams here on the ground scouring a massive area. It's completely arid here, and it can be completely deceiving for people in terms of temperature, in terms of the height of some of the ravines here. So on the ground, you can see the search teams, but because the area is so large, it's almost impossible to keep track of these people all the time. But today, the search teams have centered in on a spot where Jay was last seen, and he made contact with a friend on Monday morning in a small village where he was staying in an Airbnb. So we've seen the search teams today scour the area and move into this ravine, which is about 2,000 feet deep.
And Daniel, as we understand it, it's not as hot in this area as it may have been where Michael Mosey was, and it gets very cold at night, and Jay Slater was dressed for a night out, not dressed for those kind of conditions. His phone went dead almost immediately, and also his last message saying he was feeling dehydrated and in need of a drink. Yes,
and it can catch people out by surprise, especially if you're not able to have access to a car or any form of transport. So it appears that Jay's phone has died. He may have become disorientated and stepped off the road here where cars might have been passing by into the more rural areas, and that's where he might have got lost. If you're dressed to go to a party as Jay was, it could be incredibly cold here. 1 minute it's hot, next minute you can feel a slight spitting of rain, and at night the temperatures really draw in.
And in terms of the criticisms that we're hearing from people in Britain, friends of Jay Slater's, regarding the police activity, the operation out there, Daniel, do you think that's a bit harsh? Are they putting in a good shift? Are they doing their very, very best in this manhunt?
From what I can see, I think they're doing the best with what they've got. You know, we're not talking about a massive organisation of people here. There's volunteers getting involved. I can understand where criticism would come in because it's taken several days and we still don't have answers. But from what I've witnessed, the staff here are doing the best that they can.
And in terms of that mood, Daniel, as we said, in Britain, a sombre mood on the streets of Jay's hometown. What's the mood like amongst the forces who are searching? Are they still optimistic, or as time goes on, are things looking slightly less so?
There is still an element of optimism. There's, at this point, there's nothing to suggest otherwise in terms of, what has been found. However, I did speak to a member of the search team earlier, one of the local authorities, and he told me that there's an element of frustration among him and his colleagues that they haven't been able to find a single thing pointing them to where Jay is.
OK, the story goes on. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for sharing that piece of inside information. Daniel Hammond, who's a reporter at The Sun there, live from Tenerife. Thank you.